So a couple of weeks ago, I had a great chat with Ben on the R&D Tax Incentive as it's part of a software development build, and something you should consider at the beginning of the cycle, not at the end when it's time to claim tax. And so part of our discussion was what he'd seen from external, where companies had hired an external development company like Redgum, and the problems that he'd seen arise from that. So Ben, if you'd like to talk about the issue.
Yeah, so we do, obviously I do a lot of R&D tax incentive work for clients, and they often use external developers. Some of the problems that I run into here are that the external developers are long gone, they've been paid, and they don't wish to come back into the process. We need to interview them to understand what aspect or what part of their development is actually eligible for R&D. So when people engage external developers, make sure they allow time for us to, or someone to interview them to understand that. The other issue we see is the information asymmetry. What the developer tells the client is that, yes, we've done this 100 times before, we see no issue, we developed it, there were no issues. Whereas in reality, what we need to understand is what were some of the technical hurdles that were needed to be overcome, and what documentation have you done, what tests, or what did you have to prove to see whether this actually worked. So the external developer keeps all the information to themselves and tells the client, yes, we're excellent, we've done it before, but we need to understand what process they went through to uncover that. And it may not have been done before, and that this development may not have existed, or the evidence may not be obvious from anywhere around the world.
Yeah, no, it is a double-edged sword when you're trying to convince a client that you're de-risking their process, and the R&D tax concession is going to pay for the risk. It's an opposing sales model, I suppose.
And it's certainly something to think about before you start your development. If you come in at the end and there's no documentation, there's no evidence of experiments taking place, it's very hard to try and recreate that. So if you have that knowledge that you can start at the beginning, start the documentation process, the developer knows that, hey, we're going to be looking to claim this, it's going to make for a much more seamless and eligible claim.
Yeah, no, that's good advice.
Cool. All right, well, thanks for reaching out, Robert.
Yeah, no, that's good. Thank you.